I must admit, it's kind of actually nice to have this chair in here now. I don't need it to be here, but I just do. So what's the topic of today's video? Today's video, we're talking about conventions, specifically advertising at conventions. I do have a case study in this case. For this example, this is a personal one that I know from my own experience. I used to volunteer at conventions before things went to shit, but also before I got a job. So this is 2017. I had finished high school the year beforehand. It was first year uni, didn't have a job, so I figured, oh, I'll volunteer at conventions. That could be fun. Don't know where the hell I got the idea to do so. I just kind of did it, and yeah, it seemed like an easy way to get into conventions because it's free. Of course, you got to work. Duh. You don't get any money out of it. At least at the time, you didn't. Depends on the convention as well. You really got no prize out of, except for experience, potentially friends, and you got to see some cool stuff as well as you got a free t-shirt, you know. Which, in theory, yes, I should be wearing that t-shirt that I got that year, but I don't know where those t-shirts are. One of them was signed by, like, a bunch of people that I'd met, and it kind of ruined the t-shirt, because it's like, I can't wear that again now, because it's like, if I wash it, the permanent marker gets erased. I could say the same thing about my grade 6 graduation, my grade 6 t-shirt, but, because I had a bunch of people sign it, but I wasn't going to wash that one anyway, because, let's be honest, I'm a lot bigger than I used to be. So, yeah, my case study in particular is, I believe it was Oz Comic Con 2017. This is just before October, and there was a film coming out that, was the kind of a 27th anniversary, if you would, a remake of a mini-series. Okay, it's It. You probably know from the title. Maybe it's... You probably don't. I don't fucking know what the title is. So obviously in 1990 you had the Tim Curry It mini-series, the two-parter that was based on the Stephen King novel. In 2017, they released It, which was later known as It Chapter 1 once you finished the movie. And of course its sequel, It Chapter 2, which came out last year in 2019. The one reason I want to mention this is because, like, conventions have a lot of advertising. You got banners, you got so much promotional stuff, you've got people wearing costumes, which is like, there's the indirect kind of stuff where it's people are dressed up in cosplays, which is automatically promoting either stuff that's about to come out, sequels of stuff that's about to come out, or stuff that already exists. Mostly always stuff that already exists. Or whatever's in the popular norm, especially given that was probably peak Suicide Squad kind of time. Yeah, definitely, because Suicide Squad had just come out. Everyone was dressing up as Harley Quinn or the Joker. Yeah, what a sad time we used to live in. And so, you know, you'd have your much bigger promotional stuff. Again, you have your big sections. Here's Marvel, here's DC, here's Disney, whatever the big labels are at the time. And they'd be showing off their new shit. Oh, look, here's a new Marvel movie, here's a new DC movie. Now, of course, Australia doesn't get the biggest of shit, so we're not gonna get all the Disney great stuff. We're not going to get all these exclusive trailers. Every now and again we might, you know, it's cool. We get our own display of stuff, which is nice, but nothing's really unveiled in Australia. Nothing's unveiled here. Nobody cares about Australia for the most part. We're the that weird distant cousin who we just kind of either send hand-me-down clothes to, or maybe a DVD every once in a while. Mostly just a Facebook message saying, hey, happy birthday, and then that's it. That's the only message. And if you look at the backlog, it's just 8 years of happy birthday. So the one interesting aspect that we got to experience that year was how they advertised it. They did that by hiring people, specifically a mother and their kid, and the kid would dress up as Georgie. And this was great. Like, I was like, you know, I hadn't even watched the Tim Curry one yet. I knew, bits and pieces and whatever. And it was just so much fun to just see this mother so excited that her kid was dressed up in, you know, the whole Georgie kid. This is what Georgie looks like. Pretty much, you got your average small, 8 to 10 year old white kid, who is in this who's in this yellow raincoat, very 80s, of course. And so it's just imagine a kid dressed up like that with the balloons and would run around and give people the balloons. And on along with the balloon had I believe it said it on it. If it didn't say it was just a red balloon, which would make more sense. But down the stalk of the balloon, because you obviously have something to hold the balloon to, there was a tag saying it with the shadow of the clown, or however vague they did the image, and they would say when it would be coming out. And that was the whole thing. You just had a kid running around giving people balloons. And it was great, because it's like, this is a whole 3-day weekend thing. I saw it every day I was there. And maybe it was a different kid each day, but I'm pretty sure it was the same kid. And they were just running around. There might have been multiple kids, just to make it, a lot less work for the one kid, and you just have, all these other kids running around. But I'm pretty sure, from what I recall, it was either one or two kids. My glasses are really upsetting me today. I apologize for that. I don't like to adjust them, but I have to a lot. Where was I? So, yeah, and it was just kind of fun to just watch that happen. Like, it's a much more interactive thing. It's got, obviously, the reference to the fucking movie, and this was big in the promotional material of Georgie or the Clown. That was pretty much the material, because the kids were all unknowns outside of that kid from Stranger Things, but he wasn't the big promotional thing. You weren't there to see him. He was like an added bonus if you'd watched Stranger Things. If it had come out, but yeah, it had come out by that stage. I remember in year 12 people talking about it in literature class. See how media works? And so that's literally my whole story about it. There's no interest in, oh, the kid tripped over and someone helped him out, or the kid ran into someone dressed up as it. No, it came the next year. After it came out, that's when people started dressed up as the fucking clown. Pennywise. I know the name, shut up. And so, yeah, I mean, look, I can't say that's what convinced me to watch the film, but I did end up watching the film with my mate Pierre, and I found it hilarious. I'm a big horror person, and just all of the jump scares were hilariously tacky, but I found them amusing still. Like, I was enjoying myself. It wasn't it's so bad it's good. It wasn't it's a terrible movie. It was just, it's got a creepy atmosphere, and then you got these dumbass jump scares, and I kind of enjoyed it. I even have it on Blu-ray, as well as the sequel, and the the fucking miniseries, because Tim Curry's a legend. And so, yeah, it was just an interesting experience to just watch this go down. And now, I can't say that I've seen any other more standout versions of advertising at conventions. I mean, this is literally just whatever studio that made it was like, hey, use an agency to, cast a kid, to play Georgie at a convention and just go around, running around. I think they had two kids. I'm pretty sure they did, because it was like one kid for the first half of the day, the second kid for the second half, because kids only have a certain amount of energy and they can only control themselves for a certain amount of time. So, like, hey, here's a benefit. Maybe it was 4 kids, so, like, they could have done it like this, or, where the first day, the first kid got to muck around for the first 3 hours or whatever, 3-4 hours, going around, sharing around balloons. And then, they'd get to go have a break, and they'd get to pretty much, take off the costume, whatever, and they get to, go around for free and do whatever and experience the convention. And then the next kid would be doing it, in contrast, so you'd have one kid for the first half of the day, one kid for the second half of the day kind of deal. Maybe they repeated them the next day and had the same kids do the same roles, because then they'd have 2 whole days to kind of look around the convention and whatever, and it'd probably be cheaper. I mean, I don't know if it would be cheaper to cast only 2 kids, but it probably would be more efficient, because you're only relying on 2 kids, and so just would probably be easier like that. And then they'd have a great, way to remember their weekend, because it's like, hey, what did you do this weekend, Jimmy? Oh, I went to that convention, the Oz Comic Con, and I got to dress up as Georgie from that clown horror movie, because I don't know how good kids are with names. And then suddenly, I got to run around sharing balloons and stuff as promotion for the movie, or whatever more kid lingo they'd use. I was really hip when I was doing that square. That's what kids talk about, right? Yeah. I grew up in the 2000s, so I don't remember anymore. Anyway, I think it's interesting. I think it was fun. I definitely know everyone I saw who, got to interact with the kid enjoyed it, because I got a lot of upfront, things where I got to watch this kid, interacting with people and giving them balloons. They go from area to area, so they weren't always running around. The kid would stay in one area, go to another area, go to another area, and it would always just be a lot of fun. And people end up seeking out these balloons and being like, "Oh, I heard Georgie's running around. Let's go seek out these balloons." Or at least that's the mindset I interpret that they went for, because I was volunteering. I didn't have to look for the kid. I was literally observing him as he was doing his job. My job was very boring. It was just stand there and help people out. So, which is pretty much what you do when you're at a convention. Yeah, actually, I think that was the better one for me, because that was the convention where I was in I was meant to be a correspondent for this health team. You know how they always have this room where you can come down, just relax and breathe and whatever. Whether you want to charge your phones, whether you're a parent and your kid just needs to rest, or however it be. Maybe you're just having a panic attack because of all the people, and you just have that safe room, but they have people employed there to help you. I don't know why I was there. I was there with a partner for both days, and actually, it was meant to be three of us. One of them didn't show up at all, and it was just me and this girl, and we were just chilling out, and we just kind of tag team. She would go out for 2 hours to just browse around the place. I'd go out for 2 hours to just browse around the place. But by the Sunday, I think we both just decided that, yeah, we'll just kind of go and do our jobs randomly whenever we get to, because we didn't. The one time someone had a panic attack, I wasn't there, and they didn't need me anyway, because right next to their office was the volunteer office, the volunteer HQ, and they were the people who called the ambulance and whatever to make sure that the paramedics, to make sure that these people were fine. I wasn't needed at all. My job was literally useless, and it was great because I got to go in for free and just walk around. I'd help people out if they asked me, on the floor. I didn't just take off my Oz Comic Con shirt and fuck around. I actually was helping people out. I'd go to different sections and see how other people were working. The Dance Dance Revolution section, the section with all the celebrities and stuff. I caught up with some old friends, which was nice. I went shopping a lot. But yeah. For the most part, as it goes, it was a very interesting experience. Especially seeing just this kid. I don't know if they did it again for the 2019 film. I doubt it. I also didn't go to any of those conventions then. I think Supernova was the only one that I went to that could have had a correlation, but this is 2019. I don't think I went to any conventions outside of PAX by the end of that year, so yeah, I have no idea, and it doesn't really matter because the advertising wouldn't have worked as well, I don't think. So unless they had someone dressed up as Pennywise going around spooking people, that could have worked, but that just seems like a 90s prank show, and it's not the 90s anymore, so yeah. Well, the story is, advertising is weird. Sometimes fun, sometimes dumb, and that's the way the news goes. So yeah, thanks for watching. This has just been a kind of insight into a memory that I have. I thought it'd be an interesting kind of take on something that's media related, film related, and something a bit different. So yeah, outside of that, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. I have videos that are interesting anecdotes like this. Otherwise, I've got much better videos where I talk about my film collection, or my music collection, or all my various film collections, or video essays, or short films, or whatever the crap YouTube allows me to make. So yeah, I've been Telecreations, and I'll see you next time. Adios. It's so much more comfortable to sit down and talk than it is to stand up. How about that?